During afternoon drive at KMOX, all kinds of folks from the sports department rotated in and out. Bob Costas, Bill Wilkerson, God rest his soul, Jim Holder, and on rare occasion, Jack Buck. I'll tell you this about Jack Buck. He was a class act. He looked like class. He talked and walked like class. And whenever he'd saunter into the newsroom/sports department, there was a palpable awareness of us all, even though technically we were all employed under the same banner. Many times, however, I'd have fun with Jack and rib or gig him as much as I did Carney. They were both huge presences, elephants in the room, if you will, believe that. And I think they both appreciated the fact I had no problem poking them with a little cattle prod and proving they were, after all, human, albeit very special humans. And I have plenty of examples to share with you in upcoming segments, but right now, here's part 4 of Jack Carney, Springtime and Baseball.
Down in South Louisiana, we used to have a baseball league called the Evangeline Baseball League. And when they started that league back there in the late 20s and early 30s, it was known as the Hot Pepper League, and that's just what it was. Them Cajuns took that baseball real serious, guaranteed. And they would bet their house and their wife and their children on ordinary game. And when they got that thing, how you call a playoff, oh, my. Bet the house, the wife, the children, milking cow, crawling tractor, T-Model A Ford, chicken, dog, everything what they got. And I never will forgot Rain and Lafayette got to play the playoff. And Rain win one game, and Lafayette come right behind, they win one game, tie. And they go to Rain for the third game, and everybody bring their own Coca-Cola bottle just in case they could not get one, you know. And Rain make one run, and Lafayette come right behind. They make one run, tie some more. One game apiece each, one run apiece each. Tight, ooh, man. And Rain's at bat, and Lafayette's in the field. And the fella at bat for Rain's a great big man, 6'4", bat left-handed, weigh 130 pounds. And the catching man for Lafayette would catch them ball and strike what the pitching man chunked with him, you know. He's another great big man. He's 6'5", weigh 135 pounds. And the umpire, you know, the man would call the ball and strike behind the catching man. He weighed 98 pounds, dripping wet with sweat, with 12 bottles of pop with foam on top inside. And the count on this man at bat for Rain is one strike and one ball, tie some more. Who is tight, you hear? And that old mean pitcher from Lafayette, he don't give a damn him how tight everything. And zoom, he grooved the left-hand corner of that plate, and that little umpire put both hands behind him and back up 4 or 3 step, and he bellowed real loud, 2! That man with the bat on his left shoulder take it off and put it on his right, and that catching man jump up, throw his mask down in the dust, and raise a big cloud of dust. And they both getting right in the little umpire's face so close, he can't hardly breathe. And they both saying the same breathe. Do what? He said, too damn close to call, I'll guarantee you that.
Well, he's one of my favorites here on the comedy show. That's Justin Wilson, the great Louisiana humorist. Now, many of us, like young Robert Klein, another great humorist, were avid baseball fans, and we started at a very early age.
I was a rabid Yankee fan when I was a child. It seemed to matter and mean everything to me. I walked around with a Yankee hat and jacket for about 3 years. The hat was removed by surgery on my 12th birthday. I had an NY on my head. Well, my father took me to Macy's department store to see 2 Yankee heroes. And I was there early. I was there 3 hours. And they were late. And what a tremendous thrill it was when my hero arrived drunk. And I said, gee, Hank, how many games did I win the series by? And he went, you Yankee Junior, young fella? And he began to wink, which is a good way to patronize children. Hey, young fella, you know, you Yankee Junior? I'm a young fellow. I'm 9 years old. I might go the wrong road now. Just by seeing you here in Texas, you know, I didn't say that. I used to go to Yankee Stadium and used to sit upstairs for $1.25, sneak down for the last out by the box seats, right? Right? Have you ever done that? Anyone here? You're under arrest, sir. What a minor crime that is, really. You know, sneaking down for the last out on a Tuesday afternoon. The Yankees were winning 15-2. It was in September. It was 40 degrees. There's very little chance that the president of IBM is going to use his box seat that day for the last out. You know, who knows? He'll come along. Beaver, where's my seat? Where's that little punk? Get him out of here. So I sneaked down the last out, and the stadium cop would chase us. Really, I guess he was just doing his job. Overreacted a little bit, drew his gun. All athletes sound alike when they're interviewed. They all sound Southern. Well, my arm's feeling real good, Ralph. I feel I can't help this ball club. It's a good ball club. And we got good defense on this ball club. I feel we can't help this ball club. It's a good ball club. Doesn't matter where he's from. He could be a Rhodes Scholar. Yes, but extrapolating that afterwards. I've got an interview now, but I'll be right with you, Matthew. My arm's feeling real good, Ralph. I feel I can't help this ball club. It's a good ball club, and we got good pitching on this ball club. I'm going to...
My music store really had the blues. I didn't know how many drums I had in stock. And I had 500 more clarinets than I could sell. Instead of ordering banjos, I ordered ukuleles. I don't even sell ukuleles. And don't ask me about my tubas. My inventory was a disaster. Now, I heard that IBM made small computers for small businesses like mine. So I bought a small IBM computer for my inventory, and now I know what to order, when to order, and how much to order. And these days, my music store is working in total harmony. But best of all, IBM sells so many different kinds of small computers that I told my brother to buy one for his business.
For more information, call IBM toll-free at 1-800-631-5582. That's 1-800-631-5582.
Well, we're talking about baseball on the Comedy Show. Hopefully you enjoy it even if you're not a baseball fan. But if you are, you know that during the season, immediately upon arising in the morning, as a dyed-in-the-wool baseball fan, you reach for the radio, even before your toothbrush, to get the results of last night's games. Well, a few years ago, listeners to a small station up in Alaska were surprised to hear a strange voice on the radio. This is an actual recording, by the way. It seems that the sportsman on the radio station hadn't made it into the studios, so a last-minute substitution, and we've never found out exactly who it was, and when you hear him, you'll probably know why. His name has been kept a secret all these years. A last-minute substitution took over the microphone.
Now, here are the sports scores as we have them. The Northwest Commercial, or rather, we'll start up at the top. In the Moose Jaw District League, St. Mary's 7, RCAF 3, and the St. Mary and RCAF, that's the 2-0 now games for St. Mary. The Moose Jaw Little League, the Cubs 13, the Pirates 6, the Colts 5, and the Red Legs no score. The Cardinals 15, Dodgers 11, Athletics 15, Twins 2. Or 11 rather. Well, in the Western Conference, the Edmonton Eskimos edged the Grey Cup champion Winnipeg Blue Bombers 20-16, and the British Columbia Lions bombed the Saskatchewan Rough Riders 33-7. At Winnipeg, the Blue Bombers had the margin of play statistically, but in 14 points performance by Tommy Coffey powered the Eskimos to the victory. The Bombers got touchdowns from Jerry James, that's a hard word to say in a hurry, and Farrell Funston, while James kicked 2 converts and a fullback, Charlie Shepard, a pair of singles. Well, if you drop in at Patterson Motors used car lot in the middle of our 600 block west on Main Street today or any other day, if you are in the market for a used car, you will have to agree that we have a real bunch of bargain buys on our lot. One thing, you don't need any pay to excuse me. You don't have to need, you don't need any X-ray to find the value of a Goodwill car. Today we are putting the spotlight on a Corvair 1960 sedan with a 1960 radio, undercoated, miners, mirrors, a gold paint job, and after you drive it, you'll say, no fooling, it's a dandy. And now for Patterson Motors, may we say to you until tomorrow morning at this very same time, so long, and thanks for listening.
Well, this is the comedy show. And that was, by the way, an honest-to-goodness air check from an Alaskan radio station. That was not a comedian, no matter how hysterically funny it came across. Our topic on the comedy show is baseball. And for such a wonderful sport, it has always been very amazing to me, that so many bad movies have been made about the sport of baseball and about the great men who played this game.
Babe Ruth story. You're so bad, really. Babe is such a great character. What a corny rendition. He's up there, sick in the bed, 3 floors below. Street urchins. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Ooh. Even oohs, okay? In the middle of the Bronx. Anyway, upstairs. Upstairs, they're hurling baseball metaphors and cliches around like it's going out of style, you know. You hear those kids, Doc? They're big league. Okay, babe. Father Matthias? What, babe? No one can strike you out. You're Babe Ruth. Thanks, Doc. Sam Levine, his friend. Slide, babe. What the hell does that mean? Babe? Yeah, Doc. We've got a serum here. Kind of a pinch hitter, you could say. Hey, that's a good idea, Doc. It's never been tried on goslings, is about all so far. But, babe, if this works, then millions of people can get their last licks, too. Doc? Yes, babe? This pinch hitter, can he bunt? Babe, the metaphors are honestly going a little too far now. Bunt. In a way, I suppose he can. But if he catches that third baseman playing a little deep, Doc, let him lay one down, huh? How many outs? Father Matthias, take over here. I'm not that much into baseball. I'm a doctor.
That was Robert Klein. I'm Jack Carney. This is the comedy show. Our topic is baseball, and we'll be back with you after a 7th-inning stretch. Back to the topic for today, which is baseball. Here's Al Ackerman with umpire Red Jones.
I think the man you had great respect for, not only as a man, but as a pitcher, was Bob Feller. I always thought that Feller had the fastest ball since Walter Johnson. Did you agree? I know you umpired many a game when Feller was the pitcher.
Feller had the fastest pitch that I've ever seen. I've never seen Denny McLean down on the ball field. I know Virgil Trucks, Allie Reynolds, and all those guys were considered to be fast. But Feller, on his good day, he could throw a strawberry through a battleship. And his curveball looked like an epileptic snake. And he used it as a weapon. He would just frighten hell out of a hitter with the curveball with no intent of getting it over the plate. And then he would lay that fastball in. And I remember a little guy hitting against him the first time he'd ever seen him. He's at bat Sunday afternoon, leading off of the Red Sox. They recalled him for the Louisville club. And Feller wore a size of 15.5 shoe. And he would stick that foot in your face and come with a glove, and then with that overhand fastball, and the ball would come out of the white background, and 15 feet before you could pick it up. And this kid was standing there, and here come one right down the gut, see? And I said, strike. And the kid turned around and said, "My God, umps, you didn't call that pitch a strike, did you?" I said, "Right down the middle, kid. Didn't you think it was a strike?" He said, "It sounded high to me." Al, I said, "You know, we umpire for that gentleman sometimes like that. We call those balls by sound." I said, "Now, I'll give you a little tip. You keep listening, and if your hearing improves, you're liable to turn out to be a hell of a hitter."
You had a friend, well, I use the term loosely, Don Calloway, who used to needle you unmercifully, Red, and he had a time with Feller one time with that curveball of Feller's, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Score is about 10-2, ninth inning, and Calloway, he hated all umpires. He thought they should have been strangled in their crib. He didn't think no umpire should have been allowed to live, especially Jones. And umpires get tired of that, that whining and begging and singing a lullaby and an alibi and everything. So Calloway is at bat, and Billy McGowan is behind the plate. And Feller breaks off that curveball, and it nearly got old Calloway. He fell back away from the plate, just frightened the heck out of him. And he's rocking on his shoulder blades, and the ball is outside about 6 or 8 inches, but McGowan figures, "I got him. He's laying out there. He don't know where the pitch is." And he said, "Strike!" And true to fashion, true to form, Calloway got up and lodged a beef. He said, "My God, Mac, you didn't call that pitch a strike, did you?" McGowan said, "Why, sure, it got part of the plate." Calloway said, "It fooled me." McGowan said, "It nearly fooled me, but I'm still on my feet."
Wakefield had an experience, too. Dick Wakefield of the Tigers, and you were umpiring.
That's right.
When Feller was using that curve and fastball, too.
Well, the same situation practically. The score is lopsided in favor of Cleveland, and Steve O'Neill put Dick Wakefield in. He'd been in a slight slump, and he put him into pinch hit, and he's 2 out in the 9th inning, and here comes Wakefield, and Feller breaks him off 2 curveballs. Just beauties right there, see? So I'm kind of playing the game, and I figure, my God, he's not going to put that wear and tear on his arm again with that curve pitch. He'll waste one. I don't think he'll come with the curve again, and I sort of relaxed, friggin' the ball would be outside or inside or under the chin. And a waste ball, W-A-S-T-E.
Yeah.
And I got a little lax in my duties, and Feller come back with a better curve than the first 2. Both of them had been called strikes. And I said, "Ball?" And that Wakefield wheeled on me, and he said, "Damn it, Jones, bear down." He said, "You're only prolonging the ball game. I can't hit that stuff. Call me out."
That was Al Ackerman and Red Jones. Let's sneak down to the bullpen and listen in now as 2 pitchers get acquainted. One is a young, eager, bright-eyed player who's just come up from the minor leagues. The other pitcher sitting on the bench is 96 years old.
Imagine me, Submarine Smith, sitting next to the legend Forever Adams.
What part of the minor leagues you are from, boy?
Wichita.
Is that a fact? You know, when I was a kid, I hit a home run in Wichita.
Really?
Yeah, the newspapers say it went over 900 feet.
Wow, did they measure it?
No, they just took my word for it.
Golly, Forever, you're 96 years old and still in the majors.
96 years old. Is that what I is?
That's what the newspaper says.
Uh-huh.
I never dreamed I'd be on the same team with Forever Adams, the guy with more no-hitters than anyone in the history of the game.
Yeah, I got me 1,266 no-hitters.
1,266? Wow, how many games have you pitched total?
1,266.
You mean nobody ever got a hit off you?
No, but I must be getting old, because they starting to foul tip me all over the place.
1,266? That's unbelievable.
It ain't no big thing. You got to remember, I throws both-handed. You run that down, only work out to a little over 600 a hand.
I guess a guy could call you ambidextrous.
Yeah, and they probably have. They call me just about everything, but I'm used to it.
Have you always thrown with both hands?
No, when I started, the only way I throwed was righty.
Yeah?
And then I lost my gloves.
Oh?
In Cincinnati.
Oh?
Yeah, and the only glove they could scrounge up was lefty.
Yeah?
And I was being taken care of, but I was, am I falling asleep?
Forever, yeah. Careful now.
No, I'm on. What was we talking about? Pitching?
Yeah, pitching.
Oh, yeah, I have my glove.
you
Yeah, I
found your
lost
glove.
my glove in Cincinnati. Yeah, and then they gave me this lefty glove.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just went right on out there and took care of business.
You're the greatest forever. Do you ever throw the bean ball?
Just against one team back in the minor leagues.
Yeah, what team was that?
The Biloxi Bigots.
You really dusted them, huh?
Well, didn't I? When I got done pitching against them, their cleaning bill was over $600.
Gosh, forever, how many pitches have you got?
Well, I don't worry about having a whole passel of pitches like these young kids. I just work with my basic 17.
Well, I guess your main pitch is your ham fat special.
Yeah, that's the one to bring home the bacon.
And no one else has ever been able to master that one.
Well, there was a brother back with the Chattanooga Chitlins.
Yeah?
Named Grease Williams. He thought he was throwing it, but he wasn't throwing nothing in the world except your everyday run-of-the-mill 3-speed Zephyr ball.
Really?
Really, of course, he never was no count no way. He only played 26 years.
Oh, what are some of your other pitches?
Well, there's my resonating, hesitating, half-speed outshoot drop.
Yeah?
And the header hopper.
The header hopper?
I only use that against a Hollywood all-star. The roto-rooter, the fastball, the really fastball, and the what you say. The slow ball, the really slow ball, and the, come on, let's get it on.
Well, who taught you the rest of your pitches?
My daddy.
Boy, I would love to have met him.
Well, you can meet him if you just wait till he strike out the side. Smoke it on in there, old man.
Bake someone happy. You and Betty Crocker can bake someone happy. Bake a smile for someone you care for.
When I want to make a special cake for my family, I only use Betty Crocker. And I have very specific reasons why. I use Betty Crocker's Super Moist Cake because it's so moist. Delicious. Must be the pudding in the mix that makes it so incredibly moist. And I only top it with Betty Crocker Creamy Deluxe Frosting because Creamy Deluxe Frosting tastes so buttercream creamy, you'd swear it's homemade. I think Betty Crocker is the best I can use, and I think those are some very good reasons for baking a Betty Crocker cake. But there's one more reason why I only use Betty Crocker. It's my family's favorite.
Bake a kiss, bake a hug. Remember, you and Betty Crocker can bake someone happy.
This is the Comedy Show. I'm Jack Carney, and our topic is baseball. Of course, when a player makes an error, it's posted right up there on the scoreboard. But players aren't the only ones who make errors. Sometimes it's the broadcaster.
And in the world of sports, Yogi Berra, a great Yankee catcher, was accidentally hit in the head by a pitch ball. Yogi was taken to the Fordham Hospital for x-rays of the head. The x-rays showed nothing.
Once again, here is Major League umpire Red Jones, who tells about umpiring a prison baseball game.
Well, it was on Sunday afternoon, was for the playoff. All the candidates had a split season, and the winners of the first half are going to play the winners of the second half. And the distributor in Jackson, Michigan, where the southern Michigan prison is located, was a friend of the warden. And this is the big game. And those fellas are going to bet a little bit. They bet razor blades, cigarettes, cigarette papers, matches, and one thing. And they wanted a man of integrity and honesty. They don't trust everybody, you know. So they wanted me to come up and umpire the final game for all the marbles. And I'm there, ready to call play ball. Each team has completed its fielding practice, its hitting practice, and I'm ready for the first pitch. But the catcher decides that he wants to have a final word with the pitcher. and he goes out to the pitcher's mound to talk. And standing in the batter's box was a little fellow about the size of Phil Rizzuto, a small guy. And he's got a friendly face, looking up at me and smiling. And I looked down at him. I said, "What they got you in here for, Shorty?" He said, "For killing a big guy about your size."
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's comedy show. I'm Jack Carney. The comedy show was written by Fred Zelenko and produced by Dan Randan. Next week, the comedy show takes a long look at the Old West with Jonathan Winters, Bob and Ray, Hudson and Landry, Wayne and Schuster, and many, many more. We'll be looking for you in the Old West next week on the comedy show.
Next, I hope you'll join me when we offer up a rare broadcast of Jack Carney, featuring How Did We Meet? His amazing style, a CBS News report that literally predicted the future, and one hilarious bus ride from Schneidhorst's to the Muni Opera. I'm Ron Barber. Thanks for listening.